If you've just put your proposal on the table and the prospect that you put that proposal on the table to is looking for something else, different from what you just proposed, the game's over. Go home, stop this video and promise to never, ever do that again. Here's a little secret. Your buyers have a concept of what they need, and that concept is rarely shaken at the proposal stage. If you didn't shape that concept, then your competitors probably did. So walk away. Nothing that I can tell you today will undo the stupidity of failing to invest upfront in shaping the buyer's concept. Nothing in your proposal will undo the foolishness of letting your competitors shape the buyer's concept of what it is that they need. Assuming you were the one to shape your buyer's concept of what they needed, then what I'll share with you today is how to put forward your most convincing, compelling proposal. Now, I've already argued that if you didn't shape the buyer's concept, then you should walk away. Well, the flip of that is that if you were the one to shape your buyer's concept of what they need, then your competitors should walk away. The deal should almost sell itself if you've done the work up front to shape the concept of what the buyer needs. But there is a little bit that we need to do, and that's what I'm going to share with you right now. I want to start with the solution itself. If you're offering an incomplete solution, that is, in your proposal you're outlining how you're going to solve the problem, but if hand on heart you're only partially solving the problem, then you're opening yourself up to late stage competition. Or the competitor, the biggest, worst, ugliest competitor on the planet, which is do nothing, is going to win. You need to completely solve the problem. If there's just no way that you can solve all of the problem, then in the very least in your proposal you need to outline how the full solution or how all of the problem will be solved. Perhaps your solution is partial, not ideal, but if that's the best that you can do, then in the very least explain how the rest of the problem is going to be solved. That's really key. Now, not every person who reads your proposal is going to be at the same stage as the person whose concept you did shape. If you've been really working hard with one particular buying influence and you've got concrete agreement as to what they need, but there are others who are going to read your proposal that are not at the same stage, then imagine how silly it would be to assume that they're at the same point, to communicate with that other buying influence or other buying influences who are not at that same stage. You need to warm them up. So your proposal needs to tell the whole story. This is your situation as I understand it. This is what you're trying to achieve. This is what's going to get in the way of you achieving those things. Therefore, this is what we agreed that you need. Therefore, here's my proposed solution and here's my plan to fix it. You need to tell the whole story, even if the person that you've been dealing with or the people that you've been dealing with know that whole story. There's bound to be people who read your proposal, even after the fact, who aren't at the same point. So tell the whole journey. Situation, objectives, complication or gap or impediment. Therefore need, as agreed. Therefore here's my solution and here's my plan to implement it. So you understand that really most of the hard work has to happen before the proposal stage. But is there therefore nothing that we do at the proposal stage to optimise its chance of success? Well, of course there are things we can do, and I'm going to share with you my 7 steps for maximising the return on your proposals. Shortly I'll show you how to do this in Funnel Plan, but before that I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to share with you my 7 conclusions, and I'm going to invite you to receive other blogs like this. Let's get to the conclusion first. What are the 7 things that you really need to do to maximise the chance of your proposal winning? Firstly, create the case for change. I've really been arguing that pretty strongly today. And the direction of the change well before your proposal. That's the first step. Now, I argued in an earlier blog that the time to assemble all the buying influences is not at the time of presenting your proposal. It's actually at the need definition stage. So step 2 is certainly to make sure that all of the buying influences agree to the need before you mount your proposal. But frankly, if you fail to do it, then you certainly need all the buying influences in the room at this proposal stage. So that's step 2. Get alignment with the buying influences. Ideally do it beforehand, but certainly do it at the proposal stage if you failed. Step 3, present, don't just print. Argue your case. Number 4, use pictures, not just words. We all know that different people think and consume content in different ways. So we certainly need to offer visuals for those who consume their information in that way. Step 5, sell, don't just tell. Don't just tell them what you're going to do, tell them why and why it's good. This sounds kind of obvious, but these are things that we frequently, even savvy and seasoned professionals, forget to do these basics. Number 6, and I argued this one earlier, recognise that some readers of your proposal won't have had the benefit of all that prior dialogue. So in both your presentation and your written proposal, include and replay the whole journey. Their situation, their objectives, their impediments, that is, what will get in the way of them meeting those objectives. Number 4, the need, what they need from somebody to overcome those impediments. Then your solution, your proof that it works, and your plan to deliver. Finally, number 7, create opportunities to send or provide further information after. Perhaps a recap of the meeting, perhaps a proposed implementation plan, perhaps further proof, maybe it's social proof or case studies or testimonials or reference names. But create an excuse or an opportunity for ongoing dialogue. So there it is, 7 basic steps. But frankly, if you haven't done step 1, walk away. Well, if you enjoyed this blog, then likely you'll enjoy others. If you haven't already, can I invite you to subscribe to receive this blog. Go to mathmarketing.com/blog and either subscribe to the twice a week blog, or if you prefer, the once a month, which has a recap of all the key blogs from the month. Frankly, what most people do is subscribe to both, and you're welcome to do that. Now, if you prefer, you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel here and can consume these blogs in that way. Now, if you have already, but you've got a colleague who hasn't, then now would be a great time to invite them, and I'd be so grateful if you do that. Why don't you do that now? Either subscribe or flick it along to a friend. Come back and I'll show you how we do that in Funnel Plan. Okay, so here's how we do this in the Funnel Plan. Firstly, let me show you. In the Funnel Plan, we're obviously looking here at the tactics section down here in the bottom of the Funnel Plan. Particularly, we're looking at tactics to get a compelling offer on the table. Now, you notice up here that we've got 3,596 buyers who need to agree the need over the next 3 years. And of those, nearly 3,000, 2,965, need to understand what our offer is to meet that need. So we're looking at kind of 10 offers per week per rep. So firstly, I want to go back to the need stage and add something here that we probably missed off in the previous session. Certainly a buying influence review. That's the first tactic I'm going to add. That's when you get all the BIs together and get them to agree the need. Secondly, a confirmation email. Now, let's adjust our flow so that the meeting tool actually flows now to the BI review and also to the need definition workshop. That need definition workshop and the proof of concept should now flow to the BI review. So that is, we always finish this stage with a BI review, and then finally, let's add a confirmation email as a tactic and a confirmation response. So that is, wait for the response and confirmation from the buyer that you got the need right before you put your proposal on the table. So let's flow all the tactics from BI review down to confirmation email and to confirmation email response. And let's delete any other flows that suggest that there's any way to get to the proposal stage other than through a confirmation response. Now, in the offer understood stage, in our proposal, we need to spell out the whole journey. So let's make that clear by rewording the tactic that we're going to spell out the whole journey. Situation, objectives, impediments or gap, need, solution, proof and plan. Now, speaking of preference, I'll show you how to create preference on another day. Until then, may your funnel be full and always flowing.